It's me, Miss Pulphus with the bang. So I wanted to go over this guided practice with you guys, and I wanted to make sure that we had this so that we could go back and look at it as many times as we needed. All right, let's go ahead and get it cracking. So we're doing guided practice. Identify a simple subject and predicate, aka verbs. So we should know by now the subject of a sentence is who or what is doing the action. Notice it says who or what because subjects can be either nouns, a person, a place, or a thing, or pronouns, which we just went over. You, me, I, he, she, we, our. Pronouns. Now, the verb, which we will also call a predicate, is the action that the subject is doing. Now, a lot of people, when they say verb or when they hear the word verb or see the word verb, they immediately go action, jump, punch, run, think, talk, which are all verbs, yes. But we forget about our little bitty linking verbs. Linking verbs are going to show a state of being. And for some reason, people freak out when they see linking verbs. So here's a list of common linking verbs. Golly, that might be helpful on this worksheet. Well, gosh, you know what? I know for sure I struggle with linking verbs. So I might want to put my linking verbs in a little pad, put them on a little sticky note and just have it with me when I'm in my English class or any class. Might be a good idea. So some common linking verbs are is, are, am, was, were, have, has, or will be. Remember, linking verbs show state of beings. So if I had a sentence like Miss Pulphus is amazing, my subject is Miss Pulphus and my verb is. For this part, here's what I would suggest, right? Now you can ask either of these two questions in any order, whatever works best for you. But if you want to find your subject, I tend to ask myself who or what is doing the action, which can still include a linking verb, is, are, am, was, were, etc., right? If I want to find the verb, I usually ask myself, what is this person, place, or thing doing, right? And then that helps me find my verb, right? All right, now here's a big deal. There can be more than one subject or more than one verb in a sentence. There can be no shortage of subjects and verbs in a sentence. I could say Miss Pulphus and Miss Sabinus went to Shipshawana, right? My verb would be went. Who went? Miss Pulphus and Miss Sabinus. Or I could say, what can I say? Oh, I could say Jamal ran and threw the ball. My verbs would be ran and threw. Who ran and threw? Jamal. Jamal did. I could have more than one subject, more than one verb in a sentence. I could say Harry, Ron, and Hermione ran and tripped in the woods. My verbs would be ran and tripped. Who ran, who tripped? Harry, Ron, and Hermione. So you could have more than one. Now look at our directions. It's going to say highlight the simple subject in yellow and highlight the simple predicate in green. Now notice it says simple. What that means is that I'm looking just for the subject, just for the verb. So no adjectives, no adverbs, no extra words. So if I was talking about Count Olaf, right, from a series of unfortunate events, I could say the tall, handsome, attractive Count Olaf walked in the woods. A verb would be walked. Who walked? Olaf walked. I don't need to know that he's tall, handsome, and attractive. He is, but I don't need to have that as my subject. My subject would just be Count Olaf. Tall, handsome, and attractive are adjectives that give me extra info that are not a part of my simple subject. So let's go ahead and look at this. Right here are my examples. Y'all know how to read. Verbs in green, subjects in yellow. Jason and Mary look at each other. All right, my first question, what I like to do personally is I like to find the verb first. So I'm going to ask myself, what's the action here? What's the action? Jason and Mary look at each other. My action is look. So I'm going to highlight look in green. And then I have to ask myself, who or what was doing the action? Who or what was looking? Mary was looking and Jason. So I'm going to highlight Jason and Mary in yellow. Jason and Mary are my subjects. My verb was looking. Who's doing the looking? Jason and Mary makes them my subjects. Number 2, the birds gathered grass for the nest. Again, I like to find my verb first. So what is my action here? And I want to make sure I'm keeping an eye out for little linking verbs. Is, was, were. All right, I don't see any linking verbs. So let's see, what's my action? Gathered. So I'm going to highlight gathered in green. My action is gathered. Now I'm going to ask myself, who or what was doing the gathering? Who or what was doing the gathering? The birds were. Now I'm just looking for my simple subject. So instead of highlighting the birds, I'm just going to highlight birds because the is an article. And I don't really need that for my simple subject. All right, let's see. Number 3. The principal talked and listened to the troubled student. Okay, what is my action here? What is my action? And I'm still keeping an eye out for linking verbs. Don't see any linking verbs, so what's my action? Talked. Ooh, but we actually have 2 verbs. The principal did, see, I already gave you the subject just now. So the principal talked and listened. So I'm going to highlight that in green. Talked and listened is my, or sorry, talked and listened are my verbs. Now, who or what was doing the talking and the listening? Was the student listening and talking? Or was the principal listening and talking? Talked and listened. Who talked and listened? The principal did. So just like with number 2, I don't need the word the because I'm just looking for my simple subject. I'm going to highlight principal in yellow. The principal talked and listened. All right. Number 4, the moon is shining brightly. Ooh, my eyes immediately go to my little linking verb. When I was going over this worksheet with my other classes, a lot of people wanted to say shining was the verb, but it's not. My verb is. I have a little linking verb. So let's highlight is in green. Remember, it's a state of being. I have my list of linking verbs, the most common ones right here. And if you're extra prepared, you might have even paused and jotted those words down and just keep them next to you. All right, so the moon is shining brightly. My verb is, who or what is, that'll be moon. Once again, don't necessarily need the word the, so I'll just highlight my subject, moon, in yellow. Number 5, we have given money to victims of the tsunami disaster funds. Ooh, let's see, we have given money to victims of the tsunami disaster funds. What's my verb? Well, it could be given, but again, I just looked at my list of common linking verbs, I see the word have here. So for number 5, we're actually going to highlight in green, have given. Have given is our verb, okay? Now, who or what gave? Who or what was the one who have given? Well, that would be we, a little pronoun, right? So let's highlight we in yellow. Nice. All right, number 6. Mr. Robleski likes overhead projectors. My verb here, likes. What's the action? Well, liking. Liking is the action. Who or what is doing the liking? Who likes? Robleski. Now, for number 6, our subject is actually Mr. Robleski because Mr. is a part of his name. Wonderful. Good. Number 7, I am very hungry. Again, some people would see this and be like, hungry, that's the verb. It's not. Linking verb. Good. So number 7, my verb is actually am. Highlight that in green. Who or what am? My subject would be I. Excellent. Now I'm going to skip down. I'm going to skip down to number 9 real quick. Skip to number 9 real quick. Look at number 9. Stanley's brother has traveled to Europe. Again, there's a linking verb here, has. So for this one, my verb, I'm going to have has traveled. So that's my verb. Okay. Now here's what I need to ask myself. Who or what was traveling? Who or what was doing the traveling? Stanley's brother. But again, I'm looking for my simple subject. I just want my subject. So I don't need Stanley's. Stanley's is an adjective describing brother. Whose brother? Stanley's brother. But I don't need that. All I need is brother. So I'm going to highlight brother in yellow. So remember, for my simple subject, I don't need anything extra. I just need the subject. Stanley's is describing what brother. Just like if I was talking about Olaf and I called him tall, handsome, and attractive Olaf, right? Tall, handsome, and attractive are describing what Olaf is like, but all I need is my simple subject, which is Olaf. Go ahead and continue to do the rest on your own, and then we're going to check them together. If you're having any problems, make sure you hit me up on GoGuardian or come see me in the meet. Once you are done with your guided practice, you've gone over it, you've checked your answers, you double checked, make sure you turn it in and then get started on our Google Forms, single out subjects and verbs, which is due before class ends. All right, so make sure you check your work on the guided practice, then you click turn in, then you get busy on your Google form, which is due by the end of class today. All right, let's get cracking.